Hello everybody, in this video we will speak about Edward Bach and his life and work. Uh, his name is not a German origin as some people believe, but it's a Welsh origin. In Welsh it means small or little, or sometimes it's used to friendly address people. And he was born in Moseley. It's at present a suburb of Birmingham in England, in 1886. And his father owned a brass factory, and he hoped that Edward would once take over family business. However, Edward really started to work there. However, it proved that Edward was really unsuitable for business matters. So finally, his father allowed him to fulfill his lifelong dream to become a doctor. And Edward started to study at the Cambridge University, and he became a doctor. And first, we worked as a surgeon. However, this work was too demanding for him, and because of physical exhaustion, he finally switched to microbiology. And microbiology of that time was something like genetics or immunology is now, because it was a very quickly developing branch of medicine, and there was a belief that it could solve all the problems. And maybe once would be bacteria discovered that causes cancer, for example. However, in 1917, when he was 30, he collapsed because of vomiting blood, and he was diagnosed a terminal stage stomach cancer, and it was a turning point in his life. After the first shock, he completely changed his priorities. He realized that his life mission was to discover a new treatment method. And he decided to invest all his remaining time to find a new treatment that could help people. So at present, we recommend to our patients with malignant diseases to take rest and not to stress too much, to sleep well, but he did exactly the opposite. He spent almost all his time in his laboratory, and he almost didn't sleep because he knew that his time was limited. And in spite of such a burden of work, he discovered that his physical complaints began to improve. And he worked on the development of new vaccines made from bowel bacteria, because he discovered that people with different physical problems have also different bacteria in their bowels. And finally, then in 1919, he became a microbiologist at the London Homeopathic Hospital, and he learned homeopathy, and he started to produce his vaccines by homeopathic method. And even now, some homeopaths still use so-called Bach bowel nozzles. However, he still felt that something was missing, that he felt an urge to return to nature. And finally, he discovered that plants that grow wildly in the meadows carry a marvelous therapeutic effect. And he discovered his essences in a few steps. At first, he discovered 12 essences called 12 healers, then so-called 7 helpers, and finally he added 19 essences so that the number of 38 was complete. And he didn't discover his essences by working in a lab, but he discovered them when walking around in the meadows and woods, and especially the area around Brightwell cum Sotwell, the village where he lived his last years, has a very specific genius loci. And so to help you to take up a little bit of this atmosphere, just look at the following pictures. For discovering of the essences, he used his intuition and extreme sensitivity. And it was typical that before finding a new essence, he often suffered from some intense psychic or physical condition. For example, before discovering cherry plum, he felt an intense headache and sinusitis, where because of the pain, he had an impulse to kill himself. Or before discovering crab apple, he had an oozing eruption over the body. And as soon as he discovered a new essence, his problems disappeared. So when he finished his discoveries, he wrote one tiny booklet having about 40 pages only. And then, because he completed his work, he could already die. So he died in Wallingford at the age of 50. And although his life was relatively short, his work was immense, and his method has spread to the whole world, and many tens of thousands of therapists use this method for their patients in the whole world. So, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And in the next video, we will speak about how the essences are made.